Hey, my name is Dr. Bagley. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the servants of the kingdoms, like angels, for an example. We got to bring some awareness to this because there's so many people who are thinking they're serving an angel, which they are, but not understanding the side of the fence that they are in. Okay. So first thing I want to do is let's talk about, what do I want to bring up? Let's talk about the hierarchy. Okay, so here the hierarchy is this. You have seraphims, cherubims, thrones, or orphanims. Then you have the middle order, dominion, virtues, powers. Virtues is where Yahshua said with the woman at the issue of blood, who touched me, virtue left him into the woman, healing her. Virtues, powers. Then the lower ones is principalities, archangels, angels. We do not fight against flesh and blood, but about principalities and so on. Okay. I say these things because these things are in, or was in, heaven, the creation. Let's go into Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. So one heaven, one earth. Through other writings like the Quran, it talks about the war. Revelation talks about the war. We know there was a war between Michael and the warrior, and they were warring, okay? The warring guys went to earth. They got taken out of earth. In fact, they wasn't in heaven. They were in heaven, but they wasn't in heaven, like an angel was. So they went to the earth. Okay. So you have the warrior guys that's on the earth. Then you have the third of the angels decided, we want to leave too. And so they left and went to earth. The question ultimately is that no one really pays attention to is how the amount of the third of the angels. Is it a third from 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, billion? What is the third of? And there are writings that says we have 10,000 on our right and 1,000 on our left. Let me pull it up later. But my point to you is there was a separation between this heaven and those that was now on this earth. And in Genesis chapter 1, let's pull it up here. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void. So it was just a blank canvas. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. Who's the darkness? Not illumination darkness. The darkness was those who fell from heaven. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and there was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. So darkness was already here. Light is the creator God, and that heaven is light. So what did he do? He made a distinction between light angels and dark angels. If he didn't make that distinction between the two, we would automatically assume that those who fell from heaven, cherubims, orphans, domain, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, angels, if we didn't know, if he didn't separate them from light, good, darkness, bad, if he didn't separate them, we would look at them as being good. And unfortunately, a lot of us are still looking at them as the darkness being good. Why? Because the title of them changed. who they are, what they are, their purpose, the powers that they possess, that has not changed. And because it has not changed, the untrained person will pray unto an angel, a virtue, a seraphim, and not know it comes from the dark side. So if you don't understand there's a good side and the dark side, then you really won't understand which heaven you're going to be put in, which layer of heaven. And if you don't understand the layer of heaven, then you won't understand the God on the throne that governs that heaven. And therefore, when you die, when your spirit, soul releases from this body, goes into that dimension, there's going to be a problem. Because you didn't understand, or you was not aware of, there is a light side of seraphim, cherubims, orphans, domain, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, angels, and then there is a dark side, seraphim, cherubims, right? There is a light side of Lord. There's a dark side of Lord. There's a light side of God. There's a dark side of God. Hell, by the way, we haven't talked about that. Hell is a place, look at it as a prison. If you didn't make it in the throne with your name written in the book of life, if you didn't make it in the area where Yahshua said the Lamb's book of life, the name in the Lamb's book of life, if you're not following the darkness by being a martyr, in that heaven, layer of heaven, if you're not following Abraham's Lord, if you're not following King Saul, David's Lord, if you're not following King Solomon's Lord, Moses' Lord, who are you following? If you're not following those, then you're going to go to hell. That's what hell is for. If you don't fit in a heaven, if you don't follow a Lord God, and you die, then you're going to go into the lake of fire. So I brought this out just to bring this and bring it aware to you that there is a light side, a dark side, a good side, a bad side. Is a side, two sides, a light and a darkness. So be mindful. How do you know which one you're talking to? We'll talk about it more in detail later, but it's how and what they say. Let's put it that way. That's what they say. So for an example, if one say, what is it that you want? That's from the darkness. If the other one say, I'm here to take you to your purpose. If you want to know your purpose, if you're going to your purpose, that's the good side. If you have another one says, anything you desire, just motivate yourself. Don't worry about no one else. Just yourself is good. That's the dark side. Self is dark side. Fear is dark side. Purpose, work, is the light side. You have to have a purpose. Why? Because the white throne, he who sits on the white throne, is judging us according to our works. The other one is judging you according if you became a martyr. Hell is a place, if you don't fit in with any of that, light or dark, you're going to hell. All right, guys, we'll talk more about that later. Just know that there's a light, dark side. You don't have to follow the dark side to have what it is that you need or want fulfilled. You can do it with the good side, but it's just two different ways of doing it. And we'll talk about that later. All right, guys. This is Dr. Bagley. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. And we will talk soon. Bye-bye.